I can't believe how much money we spent and all the places we spent around the world for full-time travel in 2025. It's unbelievable.
It is, but we need to believe it because we actually visited 21 different countries, something like 48 different cities, and I think we slept in 78 different beds
Oh,
in
Lord.
2025. We have been traveling full time for the last 5 years, and you'd think we would have learned by now to slow down a little bit.
Well, we did. We did slow down a little bit this
And
year.
we did. And in this story, in this year, is maybe a little bit about how we slowed down and how we figured things out. But we had some amazing experiences. And what we want to do is share some highs with you. And there are definitely some lows that we want to share with you as well. And like Chris said, we're going to give you what it cost to travel the world full time for a year in 2025. Before we get started with that, my name is Steve and this is Chris, and we are Eat, Walk, Learn.
Right, we left Denver in May of 21 and we've been traveling full-time ever since. Our brand actually is we chase 72 degrees or 22 degrees for our European and world fans. This year we changed that up a little bit because we had some different goals that we wanted to achieve this year. So as you can see, we kind of got some warmer clothing on here. We're not in 72 degrees. We are in Greece and we're in about 55 degrees at the moment.
Yeah, it's about 60, 62, I think.
Okay.
but usually what we do is we share with you our annual recap numbers in June because we started traveling in June. So we think of like June through May as like, we call it our fiscal year. And we're going to do that in June, but we wanted to give you a recap for the year and give you an idea of how much it costs. Again, we're going to share that with you at the end. But before we get into some of the highs and some of the amazing things, I think it's fair to share. Sorry, we've got
the wind. Yeah, the wind's blowing on this awning up here. That's what the banging is in the background, if you can hear that.
It's fair to share some of the lows, and for me, the lows started with Patagonia, which is a bucket list item, hiking in Patagonia. But we did a video about that, and you can link to that up here. It was a painful, cold, wake-up experience for us.
You know, I think the thing about Patagonia was, you know, we're big hikers. We do a lot of hiking. We're always the people that are going to go up to the top of the mountain, come back down. And Patagonia was kind of a little truth serum for us. We're getting old. And Patagonia was more difficult than we were expecting it to be because our bodies have changed and our health and our fitness have changed. And we're still healthy and we're still fit, but we're not as young as we used to be. And coming to that realization in Patagonia was kind of a low that like, we're getting old, man. That was a bummer, but it was beautiful and the hikes were great, but just the realization of we can't do what we used to do as well as we used to do and as fast as we used to do it, that was kind of a low.
Yeah. So that was one of the things that popped out. And another thing was we did some cruising. We cruised across the Atlantic in the springtime, and I got pretty sick.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you get sick when you go on cruises, but it happens to me pretty regularly, and I'm trying to figure out a way to not get sick on a cruise.
He gets so mad at me because in 5 years I have yet to get sick once. You know, knock on wood. I haven't gotten a sniffle. Once I did. That's true. But in general, I haven't gotten a single upset stomach. I haven't gotten a sneeze. I have nothing. And you know, we do the same cruises, and we do the stairs. We don't use the elevators. We don't go in the big group areas. We wash our hands all the time. But I don't get sick, and he does. So if you have a tip for Steve, how not to get sick on a cruise, let him know.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing was, oh man, you know, the good news is we did make it to all of the important family events this year, the graduations and the moving in and the birthday parties and so on and so forth. But the low was going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, 4 times for me, 3 times for Steve, across the Atlantic in a 6-week period from Europe to the U.S. and Europe to U.S. 4 times for me in 6 weeks. You 3 times in 6 weeks.
It was not planned. It was not part. We're usually really smart about our logistics and going from point A to point B, but to go back and forth between Europe and the United States is not only expensive, but it is also very hard on the body.
Yeah, but now that we've been through the lows, we should talk about the highs.
Well,
we got one more low. So, we're the 72-degree couple. We were in freezing this year. We did the Christmas markets, which was fantastic. So watch the video here about how to do Christmas markets and save $2,500 actually, which we did.
Yeah.
But it was freezing. I mean, the temperature was 0. We had to go to Goodwill and get big coats and mittens, and our daughter-in-law knitted us hats and socks, and it was cold, so not a high.
We're not used to the cold weather.
Not a high.
And the last one, the one that I just remembered, is when we did hiking on the coast of Portugal. I don't know if I had my shoes were wrong one day or something, but I had a toenail. But I know it was so, my feet were in so much pain for a couple of days. We didn't share that in our video. We've got another video about that up here, but that toenail has still not come back. So I may be missing a toenail for the rest of my life.
No. But it's so funny because, we're great hikers and we're really solid on our shoes. We've had the same shoes for a long time and we do the same types of hikes. But lo and behold, Steve ended up with a foot problem. I actually had some blisters from that trip too.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you that just because you think you got something figured out, you don't. And another whole situation will come up that makes you have to make a change.
Yeah, so
Okay.
So I think we've got some of the lows.
Yeah, but let's talk about the highs,
way.
because the highs are some of the best parts.
Let's talk about the highs.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some of the places and amazing things that we went to, but I want to start with talking about friends, family, and community, because this was a year where we had a ton of social time and really just made some amazing friends and had some great experiences with family and friends and community.
And what's so interesting is when we first launched, your biggest fear was you were going to be lonely and we would only be talking to each other and we wouldn't have any community. That is so far from what our life is. It is so rich with people and friends. I mean, when we cruised from Europe to South America, there was probably a good 15 or 16 people that we knew from social media and from our Facebook group. If you don't know our Facebook group, go find it. It's EatWalkLearn Nomad Life. So go find that on Facebook. Through that group, we've met some friends. They showed up on the cruise. With those people that were on the cruise, we ended up going all through South America with them. So 3 or 4 of the different couples. Yeah. We did all this different touring in South America. Then we got to the U.S. People knew we were coming because they watch us here on the YouTube channel. Hi, everybody. They invited us into their homes or out to dinner or go for a walk or a hike. So if you're where we are where you are, certainly reach out to us. We will absolutely join you because that just makes the world go round. And then Steve found his community, the deadhead that he is. He was so excited to go to the Sphere in Vegas and find his deadheads.
Bucket list experience to see a great show and be around community, if you will. That was an amazing opportunity.
So we went to Olympia. We met all kinds of Olympians and the community around the Olympics. That was unbelievable. We also had an amazing time in Boston. We met up. We're members of U.S. Service, SERVAS. If you don't know about it, absolutely look into it. It is an organization that the people who host you, they want to meet you. They're interested in travelers. They're also travelers. You can go stay with them. We stayed actually with a Jewish family and got to enjoy Shabbat with them. And it was just an amazing 2-day stay that became so rich while we were staying in Boston. Rather than another hotel in Boston, we got to stay with the family, and that was fantastic. Yeah. So check out U.S. Service.
Yeah, and let's talk about, I don't know how to say the final, but we're in Greece now, and we're enjoying a 3-month stay here on Poros Island in Greece. And we've met so many people and made so many friends. And this has just been an incredible
Greeks
opportunity.
And English speakers.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And we went to an event today, and it was like everybody on the street. It was like, hi, how are you doing? Mm-hmm. And yeah, the community here, it's a small community, and people get to know each other very easily, and sometimes they get to know a little bit too much.
And the Greeks are super, super friendly and very welcoming, and that helps. It's a culture it's a hugging, as our Greek language teacher says. Greek is a hugging language, and it's also a hugging culture. They really want to include you. We had an amazing year seeing all of our family, and our family lives in the 4 corners of the U.S. But to be able to use our Southwest Companion Pass, watch the video here about how we did that. We could see all of our family. So we went to Dublin for graduation, Ireland for graduation, and then we went to Corvallis, Oregon. We went to the Finger Lakes in New York. We went to Maine. We went Maine and Maine, Portland, Maine, and we went to Pensacola, Florida, and San Diego, California. So we had all the four corners where our family is, and had just a wonderful time. Definitely a lot of the highs from the year were around spending time with our family. So even though we travel full time and we're everywhere else in the world but the U.S., we still manage to see our family and enjoy the highs of the year with them.
Exactly. But for me, it's about the bucket list items and it's about adventure opportunities. And we talked about a little bit of lows in Patagonia, but boy, hiking in Argentina and Chile in Patagonia was just an amazing experience. That's kind of how we started the year. Also, the falls.
Iguazu Falls.
Iguazu Falls is, if you've never heard of Iguazu Falls, you've got to do it. It's an incredible place in Brazil and on the border of Brazil and Argentina.
And Paraguay.
Yep. yes. And then on the other side of the country is the Atacama Desert.
Oh, that's got to be my favorite place in South America. I mean, there's, you've got Patagonia and you've got Iguazu Falls, but Atacama Desert was just unbelievable in the northern section of Chile across from Bolivia. So if you can get to Atacama Desert, highest desert and the driest place in the world. Absolutely amazing. We also did some zip lining in Costa Rica. We hiked the Fisherman's Trail in Portugal. We hiked the Transylvanica Trail in Romania. We did thermal baths in Hungary. We spent a month not only here on Poros, but again on a Greek beach, on a Greek island for a month. We got to visit Ukraine. We went to Ukraine last year.
Going to Ukraine was incredible.
And then we ended the year on this river cruise. So we'll put videos all along here, and just check the channel because everything we've talked about, we have a video about. But probably the number one highest best thing of the whole year was
getting our visa.
Getting our Greek visa, yeah.
So we've got a 1-year visa for the country of Greece. We can come in and out as much as we want. We're here for 3 months now, and it's also opened up lots of opportunities to go to other parts of Europe and not have to worry as much about the Schengen zone. And we are working on our 5-year golden visa for Greece so we can continue that adventure and continue to make those connections in Greece. It doesn't mean that we're slowing down. It doesn't mean that we're going to stop traveling. But again, we've got a video about getting our 5-year residency in Greece, and it's still pending, so we don't have a lot to tell you about that.
That's coming up. We'll do a final video on how that all worked out when we have something to say about that. But what you guys have been waiting for is how much this crazy year cost.
It must have cost $1 million.
$1 bazillion. And we went back across. We were all over Europe. We were in Europe and the U.S. Basically, Europe and the Americas.
South America is where we started.
Oh yeah, South America. Right. We were in the Americas and Europe. Back and forth, all up and down, all these people. I don't know how many thousands of miles it is. We will roll that all up in our May video. But our total price was, we'll do it by the month, $4,292 a month, or an annual number from January 1st to December 31st of $51,509 for a year of travel, full-time travel for 2 people. That includes our insurance, that includes our medical, that includes
all our travel,
everything,
all our housing,
everything we just talked about. It was all included.
Yeah. I think that's incredible. If you can travel the world for less than it costs to stay home and sit on your couch, you should do it, right?
Why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do it? Anyway, so we've got a couple. If you have been following us along, thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe. We've got a couple videos we want to make sure you watch. Don't forget to watch our video about being uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable, that was last week or next week or 3 weeks ago or something. And then also, the more we travel, the dumber we get. What does that mean? We talk truth about the more we travel, the more we learn, and it's amazing, and the dumber we feel. Anyway, we will see you next week. Thanks so much for being fans. We love you. Please comment